Hey everybody, welcome back to Real Comic Book Talk. There will be no clapping today. I'm so sorry.
No clap.
It's not going to be a great, oh my gosh, Arrow was so great. It's not that kind of a show. Not today, man. I know I just said my goodbye to Arrow and sad, man. My show is gone. This is it. It's not gonna be no clapping today, man. Of course, we're gonna review the show and talk about, I would say talk about the stuff that's gonna happen next with it, but it ain't gonna happen there. Yeah.
So if we're not gonna review the show,
I mean, we're gonna review the show. I'm sorry.
we just gonna sit here.
Yeah. It's a moment of silence. Okay, it's a video of silence.
Oh my god!
For the greatest comic book show of all time.
This will get the least amount of views ever.
Who cares? So goodbye, man.
It'll be 3 views, and that'd be me, you, and Dan.
It's gonna have 3 likes too. Oh gosh, I've been dreading this since last year when they announced that it's gonna be the last season. I can tell you, I wasn't ready.
Well, y'all know because every video he throws in an Arrow pun or Arrow something. Every video.
It's always an Arrow Easter egg.
With every CW show, he always throws in something slight about Arrow.
So last night was the end of a legacy, a run, a greatness, a show about brotherhood and family and redemption and trying to do the right thing and having a flawed hero and Arrow. And it was about all of that, and it ended today. And again, I've said it once and I say it 1,000 times. 8 seasons. 6 of those seasons were great. I know 3 and 4 were bad. But god damn it, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, and 8 were great. But we're here to talk about the series finale, not the season. I know.
Series.
It's series finale, which is it was. So the way it started was doing a documentary. If you last year before season 7, they kind of started with a documentary about vigilantism and all that stuff. And I don't know why everybody's doing documentaries this season because Legends started with that. Legends. Mm-hmm. This is tell you a clear difference between how Legends are and how from the rest of the CW. Legends started out hilarious, like this is like they were laughing, people trying to look good for the camera. In this documentary, it was a sad moment. And I would like to say that Arrow, he changed a lot to make sure things were okay for him and his family.
Yeah, he did.
Saved his mom.
Saved his
sister. Saved his best friend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he saved everybody but his father. That was the one person couldn't without his father's death, there would have been no Arrow and none of the other stuff would have happened.
That's what they call a paradox.
Yeah. So that one had to go, but everything else was saved. Sheesh. That's tough. It's tough. Everybody got to say goodbye to him. All right, so it started with flashbacks from one episode. I'm sorry, you gotta help me out here, man. You're letting me drown.
Cause I don't know.
I don't know either.
I can't.
I don't know.
I don't know where you're going.
I don't know either. Oh God, I don't know.
So I said I'm gonna let him have this one. So y'all just gotta deal with it.
No.
Okay.
Stop.
All right. Okay.
Tacos on.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had to come out. I was holding that one back. Hey, so I'm wearing all black for Arrow. I have on blue jeans, but so what?
I was about to say.
I have on all black from the top up. That's why nobody's looking at me. From the top up, I have on all black because it's a sorrow moment. It was a great show. This episode was pretty good. I would like to say it was like one of the best series finales I've seen in some shows. Like a lot of times people drop the ball on series finale because they trying to answer too much too fast. Mm-hmm. But since Arrow knew it was his final season, it took the whole season was how they answered a lot in other series in the whole season to say goodbye, so they had to try to rush it. Like a lot of shows, a lot of times people rush the show. I mean, rush the ending because they want to give everybody the ending some quick. But Arrow was one of those shows where it knew it was the last season and it took its time with it. So like every episode in season 8 was a tribute to the season before, and said goodbye. People had goodbyes, stuff they like needed, like Laura Lance, and I'm getting the names right this time because Legends.
He remembers these names.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I know.
Everybody remembers these names. But Laura Lance, from Earth 2, never really got to say goodbye to I'm gonna call it Captain Lance, because he was like a father to her, in season like 6, like when she started like really the redemption and stuff like that, like somewhere between 5 and 6, he was there, helping her through. So early in the season, she got to say goodbye to him when a monitor kept putting him in that
the time loop.
Yeah, so she got to say goodbye. So this episode, she was really trying to understand. That's the only time that actually felt like a little rush. Like, why is they fixed everybody else, but they didn't fix her, bringing back the Earth 1 Laura Lance, and, having her, dissipate. And he went right up to us like, look, the reason why he can't fix it, because there's nothing to fix about you, baby. And she just broke down, just so happy and so cheerful. It was like it was moments like that everybody was saying goodbye. Like, the 3 longest members of the of Team Arrow, the one who shut down the Arrow, let's call it the bunker, right? Shut down the Arrow bunker. Finally saying goodbye. John Diggle was John Diggle said the final goodbyes on at the funeral, and it's fitting because he's had the longest relationship with Arrow out of that whole show. And, I mean, people going to say, man, look at his family. And we're not talking about that. We're talking about from him and Arrow had the longest relationship. They became brothers. They came from a bodyguard to his conscience to a brotherhood. Like a legit brother. Like me and Al are brothers. We started working at a stupid job, made some jokes, and now we're a brother. Okay? Brothers. I will beat a man's you-know-what for him.
I do the same.
And I would kick him while they're down. I also would make fun of him. And I would also argue with him to the point where Daniel has to come like, oh, shut it down.
Yeah.
And Daniel's also a brother.
I would say vice versa, same.
Yeah. His brother. He copied his beard after me. I had to cut it off. Just let me have it. Just don't even
I told you got it this. I'm not doing nothing this time.
All right, so I almost see you sitting here as I just curl over my heart over Arrow.
No, it's okay. It's all right.
Oh,
I know
no.
what the show means to you.
I know. This show meant a lot. But the series finale, just Al tell me so people can hear your voice at least.
I mean, they heard my voice.
I know.
You got it. I mean, but it was...
What did you think? Not the series, because I'm going to go to that later.
I'm not even worried about the series.
What did you think about the episode?
I mean, it was like you said, it was a fit and farewell. It shows how everybody is pretty much trying to grow without Arrow. They, Diggle, with the final, because pretty much they had to go save Arrow's son because he got kidnapped by somebody he didn't kill in season 1. Yeah, he didn't.
Like one of the few people who didn't kill.
And they show back how Diggle was like, you don't have to kill everybody. And then it shows where if I don't kill him, things like this happen. And it's like one more ride, like most finales.
Yeah.
We got one more ride in us.
Yeah.
Are y'all ready? And that's pretty much what he was saying. We got one more ride. We got to save family.
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
He said this is our most important mission. And it kind of reminded me of like Parks and Recreation. I don't know if anybody ever watched that show. But their series finale, right? It was a 2-part episode. And all it was everybody they were all saying their goodbyes in the thing, and then everybody was, and then some guy came in like, man, I need this thing fixed in the park, and he was like, all right, let's put it together one more time. So they were going out there doing their different jobs to get like the forms and stuff. It's nothing but like fixing the swing. But as like people were breaking off in the teams, they were like say I think like Leslie and April were together, and then it flash forward to what was happening to April and her husband's life, and then show you what was going on, how their life was ending and stuff like that, and then flash right back to where they were at in the thing.
Yeah.
So it kind of felt like that, which also Parks and Recreation had one of the best series finales of all time too. Like there's some shows that like really do it well, and there's some shows that drop the ball badly. I'm not gonna say there's shows that drop the ball badly, but I'm not also not saying it by saying Game of Thrones.
Even though you didn't watch it.
Did it not drop the ball?
How did it drop the ball?
Poorly.
You don't know how. But anyway.
It made the crippled guy the king.
That's not the bad part. But you don't understand.
That's right. You're absolutely right. I don't understand. And I will catch up one day. Probably not. But actually I will, because I've actually watched a few episodes already. But I got to fire stick it. But actually I don't. Now that I think about it, I have somebody's HBO stuff. It might be on HBO Max.
Come on.
So anyway, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to decompress. What's the word I'm looking for?
Compartmentalize.
Yeah, because Eros, it hurts. Hurts real bad. It's tough, man. Real tough. I would like to say, I'm gonna finish the series review. I like how it ended. It kind of had that Crisis or Infinite Earth comic book where, like Superman from Earth 2, Earthboy Prime and Alexander Luthor and Lois Lane from Earth 2 went into like a paradise universe. And that was like supposed to be the end of their story until Jeff Johns brought them back in Infinite Crisis. But in Crisis on Infinite Earths, ended with them going to a paradise dimension. And it felt like that was the same way for Oliver and Felicity. Because at the end of season 7, they was like, the monitor's like, man, where you going? There's no return. She's like, I've been waiting a long time to come here. So he went to the palace port, and we didn't know where she was going. She said, I've been waiting a long time to see him. And then, so we finally see it. And he's in the afterlife. It's the first place he's ever met her. Now I would like to say this: CW dropped the ball, and I'm not talking about the writers or anything. I'm watching the show, and they're saying their final words that they're gonna ever see from Arrow and Felicity. Here comes the promo for Blackish. Reruns of Blackish. I lost my goddamn shit. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I was like, I can't believe y'all did this.
Yeah, and they were still talking.
Like they were literally still. It was like they were just sitting there and it was fading away.
Right.
I mean, I still would have been mad, but I was like, all right, at least they're not saying it. But they were still talking. I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious?
All right.
How dare you see? Then I gotta wait for it to come on Netflix. Go all the way through, see what they said. Because I don't know. I did not. I should have put the closed caption.
Yeah, I'm about to say
I didn't.
I read.
I didn't read it.
So you didn't. You don't know what she said and then he said?
No. So can you tell me? Can you enlighten me?
I mean, I thought that you did, but pretty much he was like, yeah, this is the first place I've ever met you at.
That's right when it came on.
And then she said, we met somewhere else.
Yeah, in the tech room. So this way it came on there, and I didn't know what they said. I couldn't hear what they were saying. They said, he's like, I couldn't believe the afterlife looks like your mom's office. He's like, well, this is the first place I ever saw you. He was like, no, that's the tech place 7 levels below. He's like, are you sure? Then the flashback to him, like one season, I think it was season 3 or 4, he actually made it back to Star City, but he didn't tell anybody. He was just kind of looking around, checking up on people, which was, again, one of the worst seasons of Arrow. And so apparently he did that then. Still a bad. I can't believe. I thought they were not going to reference those 2 seasons, but they did. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
But you didn't have to. You didn't have to. And that's when the commercial came on. So I don't know what little dialogue they said after that.
Oh no! All he was saying. She asked him. What did she ask him? She asked him, I guess, what he's doing like in the afterlife.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, we got all the time in the world for me to tell you."
Right.
Pretty much. I mean, it wasn't nothing major. It was just showing them and how much they loved each other, and how she was, waiting for him, and now she's with him and she's happy and they're happy together, and and talked about, well, you probably, I don't know. That's it.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
It's still, I wanted to see. I don't care. I wanted to see. It's Arrow. Yeah. You don't do that. You do that to shows like Batwoman or Super Flash or any one of those.
You know what they're saying? They're like, look, this is the last episode. We gotta go move on to other things.
No, first of all, Blackish, you showing reruns, okay? So it's not the same thing. You're showing reruns of Blackish. At 7 o'clock when people are cooking dinner and eating. Nobody's watching 7 o'clock. This is a celebration about Arrow. Okay, all right. I'm not gonna go off the.
I was about to say, I feel like
I was about to
you're
lose
that
it.
person that when somebody dies and they just start lashing out at everybody. That's what it feel like you just.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm one of those people like I say thank you and I go off by myself until my mom talks to me, makes me cry. That's the kind of person I am. Every time, man. Sheesh, every time. Dang, Arrow.
Big ups to John Diggle with the Green Lantern ring.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of that stuff. So Diana actually drove off. They was telling what everybody's gonna do and move on. So apparently they were about to move to Metropolis. Mm-hmm. Diggle and his wife and family were about to move to Metropolis. As he's putting everybody in the car, a meteor crashes like right where it's at, right where it's at, and he flies him back to his car. Like puts a dent in it. I'm thinking like, man, this dude must be
he broke a couple bones if it wasn't CW physics.
Yeah, I was about to say because he went boom. I was like, oh god, and then I'm thinking right. I know he just put his kids in the car. Why is his wife not running out there? I'm thinking, why is his wife?
Like, I don't know that.
But
I don't know.
It's not about. It's about John Diggle. So I'm letting it all go. You know what? I'm making an excuse right now because she was already in the house and she didn't know what was happening. And by the time she got out there, he was already opening the thing. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Bump it, because it's Arrow final season. I'm not giving. It was first of all, this episode was a 10. I just want to throw that out there. If Al says anything differently, he is banned from Real Comic Book Talk for 2 weeks. Al, don't do it. Don't test me now. Don't test me, Alan.
It's not testing you.
Don't be a jerk.
I'm not being a jerk.
Just say it was a 10 and we can move forward in our lives. You can go back and come back and renege on it later.
It was a 10.
Thank you. Come on, man. I can see you putting up 9 fingers. Even less. Probably even less.
I didn't say it.
But anyway, so he opened up the box. He never actually saw the ring. You just saw a bright green color.
And we knew what it was.
But I'm saying this the ring because last season's crossover, Crisis on Infinite, I was about to say Crisis on, but Elseworld, when the Flash from Earth 39 came, he's like, John, you don't have your ring. It must be different on this Earth. And I was like, oh, so he's a Green Lantern on his Earth. Mm-hmm. And that's the only reason why we like putting it together, because they teased it before. Laurel Lance drove off on a motorcycle, and then we all know that somehow she got flashed into the future in 2040. Yeah. We don't know how. I mean, not Laurel. Laurel Lance is in 2040. I think she said the whatchamacallit's brought her there, the Legends. Mm-hmm. But we don't know how Diana got there, the other Black Canary. But he did heal her, so she has her voice, her canary cry back. Mm-hmm. That was good. He brought his mom back, and everybody got to say a little something.
Mm-hmm. Roy got
his arm for people who care about that sort of thing, but you never see it again. Oh, Roy and Oliver's sister, whose name I can't believe I'm forgetting the name now. So sad.
It's all right.
But those guys, Oliver called her Speedy. I'm gonna call her Speedy. Mm-hmm. They're getting married. Mm-hmm. I mean, she favor gave him pretty fast, but love like that triumph, you can get through anything.
At first, she really, it looked like she was all the way done with him, and then she just came back around.
You know why? Because that's real love right there. They did it perfectly. They couldn't have done any better. It's 10. God damn it. Sucks. Yeah. Yeah, man. So I want to talk about the series in total, man. Right quick, if you don't mind, Al. Because this episode was a 10. What did you think? What's your overall thoughts? Man, let me get to overall thoughts on the entire series of Arrow. 8-season run.
I mean, majority of it was great. It was a good show. I mean, it did bring comic book television shows to the forefront. I mean, because we've always had them, but they weren't in the limelight. It was like they were pushed to the side. They were comedic or cheesy or corny,
or some show that on some network that you never heard before.
Right. So, to put it simple, when Arrow came out and everybody started saying, "Hey, this is getting pretty good,
Yeah.
pretty good ratings. Maybe we've been doing this all wrong. So it's like instead of just making it cheesy or corny, they said let's make it more drama instead of making it where we just show superpowers. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's what Arrow started. And with that, even though Arrow doesn't really have any powers, he just has logic like Batman.
He's like the Batman of this.
Yeah, right. So it with the villains, Slade is always the
Slade.
you can't go wrong with Slade. And some of the other villains, it was good. It was a good series. I'm glad he's not going to like this, but I believe that every show has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. I don't like to have 13, 14, 15 seasons where it starts getting watered down and it's something that you love turns into something that is just okay because they just want to keep running. The showrunners just want to keep running the show and it gets stagnant. So what makes this so good to me is they've ended it. Instead of them just canceling, then we don't have any conclusion or nothing.
Yeah.
So big ups. I like that.
So I agree that every show should end, no doubt. Just I didn't want it to end. To be honest with you,
Right. Just like the lesser of two evils.
I didn't want it to end. And I know Stephen Amell said it was a transformative show and changed a lot of his life, but it was time for it, and I get it. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it takes to put these shows together and the Jack. I mean, I know he had to get like super ripped to do the stuff he was doing on the ladder. I want to call it the ladder. Is that what they really call it?
I don't remember.
Anyway, because it says like a rite of passage. Like everybody, even what's his name was doing it. The Atom, Ray Palmer. Oh, yeah. Well, his when he first showed him, he was doing it. That's when all Felicity was like, "Oh my gosh, you can do that too. You look so amazing." But Diggle started doing it, and it's like, man, it wasn't even that hard. I should have been doing this, even though he didn't look nowhere near as smooth as Oliver was doing.
Yeah, right.
It didn't. Oliver, they were showing some of the season 1 clips. He really did get ripped. And then, because I watched the thing before, like the little film where everybody was saying their goodbyes to Arrow and everything, and he's like, man, I was so excited about the show and I had nothing to do, so I was just going to the gym, I was just getting ripped. I was like, sheesh.
Who said this?
Steven.
Yeah.
He's like, I had nothing to do and I was super excited about the show, so
right.
I was like, man, I wish I ain't had nothing to do, so I want to look like that. That show was amazing. But for me, this show, this series, is the reason why all these other superhero shows were able to pop up and have these dramatic feels and people actually give them a chance. I know a lot of people are going to say it's because of Marvel movies and because of that's why people gave this stuff a chance. But actually, that's not true.
It's different. Movie and TVs are completely different.
But I would still say that's different because the reason why Marvel was able to have some of the legitimacy it did have is because of The Dark Knight and what Nolan did with the Batman trilogy. You didn't have to be we all remember superhero shows back in the day were all comedic and they had a real light tone and stuff like that. And The Dark Knight is like, nah, we're gonna switch it up. And it was a blockbuster juggernaut at the time. So like, oh yeah, these things could be a little different. Again, it's not too many comic book TV shows that were before Arrow that really people took it and like, oh yeah, we're gonna make this thing. I know there were animated shows and that's a whole different beast. But like live action, people, I mean, you had stuff like Smallville and Adventures of Lois and Clark, and those were great. Not denying that. And you had stuff like Birds of Prey, but to be honest with you, Birds of Prey only lasted a season. Mm-hmm. Smallville was gone for a while. Lois and Clark were gone for a long time. So Arrow,
Smallville was more of a teen drama.
Yeah, so Arrow took it and upgraded it, and they gave the reason why you have the entire Arrowverse. Mm-hmm. I would even say shows like The Gifted, all that because of Arrow. What Arrow was able to accomplish, it gave them the freedom, and it didn't make Hollywood is about risk avert. To be honest with you, they don't want to take too many risks. So if they see something's working over here, they're like, oh, it works for them. Now we could try because we see it works already. So that's what that is, and I'm sorry, man. I'm just so. This is my show, and it's gone, man. And I know they already put stuff in place like what's that thing called? Green Arrow and the Canaries. And it's about the 2040 team, which I honestly think is going to be good. I know people were questioning about that. The whole Arrow gave them a whole episode to do their thing, and I'm not saying it wrong. I'm not saying it right. I'm just saying it's so the season I think is going to be really good. Give it a chance, like how we all gave Arrow a chance, and look what it did for us. So, with that being said, man, I'm just gonna end. I'm gonna end the review out if you have, unless you have anything to say.
No.
I don't have any lot of jokes today. It's a great show, man. Damn good show, and I can't wait. Well, I was about to say I can't wait to see what happens next, but it ain't that. So that hurt a little bit. I was even about to say that sucks.
All right.
So look, man, if you like the review, make sure you hit the like button, man. We most of the time we're pretty funny on the show, but today it wasn't. I wasn't having it. Not with Arrow. Not with this greatness. So, but go check out other reviews because they're pretty hilarious. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you stay back for the cosplay of the day. Before that, man, before you do anything, just hit pause. Just go watch an episode of Arrow. Yeah, just do that. That's better for you. All right. Until next time, man. We out. Deuces.
Yeah. We in the club, we partying. We in the club, we partying. Yeah. How much ice you got? I don't know.
Get it,
None.
all this man.
I cannot miss like I am the ace. Electrocute you, then I leave you with aftershock. Getting angry, then I turn her Incredible Hog. Bite and bog. Chop it down like you one of them stars.